The first item on the agenda is item number 24-5-1, the 2023 Haagen-Smit Clean Air Awards. If you are here with us in the room and wish to comment on this item, please fill out a request to speak card as soon as possible and submit it to a board assistant. If you are joining us remotely and wish to comment on this item, please click the raise hand button or dial *9 now. We will first call on in-person commenters, followed by any remote commenters when we get to the public comment portion of this item. For over 20 years, the board has annually bestowed the distinguished Haagen-Smit Clean Air Awards upon extraordinary individuals whose career accomplishments in air quality and climate change have been exceptional, transformative, widespread, and novel. The awards are named in honor of Professor Haagen-Smit because of his important contribution to air pollution science and the significance of his career as the first chair of the Air Resources Board. Ari Haagen-Smit was a professor at the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena for 16 years. In 1948, he embarked on air pollution research when he was asked by the County of Los Angeles to investigate the chemical nature of what we call smog. His research found that most of California's smog resulted from photochemistry, when emissions react with sunlight to create ozone. This breakthrough provided the scientific foundation for the development of California's and the nation's air pollution control programs. This work continues to impact air pollution efforts across the globe. Dr. Haagen-Smit continued working in the field of air pollution research and, when he became CARB's first chair in 1968, directly addressed the smog problem in Los Angeles. In 1973, he received the National Medal of Science, the United States' highest scientific honor. Although Dr. Haagen-Smit passed away in 1977, his work continues to inspire scientists and policymakers alike. Over the last 22 years, 79 acclaimed scientists, educators, and policymakers have received the prestigious Haagen-Smit Award for their contributions to clean air. 4 recipients are being added to the list today, the 22nd year of the awards. I will now ask Dr. Cliff to announce each 2023 Haagen-Smit Clean Air awardee, along with the board member who will introduce the awardee. Dr. Cliff, will you please introduce the item?
Thank you, Chair Randolph. We're very pleased to honor the recipients of the 2023 Haagen-Smit Clean Air Awards today. As you noted, each of the winners will be introduced by a board member, and each winner will have an opportunity to provide a few remarks at the podium after being handed their award. With that, the first 2023 Haagen-Smit Clean Air Award winner today is Mr. Kofi Ajako, in the category of Environmental Justice. Mr. Ajako will be introduced by board member Dr. Pacheco Werner.
I'm honored to introduce Mr. Kofi Ajako, who has been a leader in energy efficiency and energy conservation policies and programs in Ghana for decades, with expertise and impact that transcends international borders, including building an alliance of 54 countries. Mr. Ajako has worked tirelessly to advance energy conservation initiatives that benefit communities and the planet. As Director of Renewable Energy, Energy Efficiency, and Climate Change at the Ghana Energy Commission, Mr. Ajako has led the Ghana delegation at the 35th Montreal Protocol meeting of the parties in Nairobi, Kenya, in October 2023. His expertise and negotiating skills led to a groundbreaking decision on environmental dumping by the signatories of the protocol. The decision urges countries exporting inefficient cooling appliances with obsolete refrigerants to institute measures to prohibit the export of such appliances that are not permitted in their markets. This decision ensures the accessibility of the best energy-efficient technologies using more climate-friendly refrigerants to Africa and other developing countries. This landmark decision was the first time the Montreal Protocol parties took treaty action on this important environmental justice issue. In a domestic role, Mr. Agyarko has been strongly involved in building successful energy efficiency, compliance, and monitoring programs within the Ghana energy industry, making Ghana a regional leader in the field. These efforts have led to Ghana to be included on the global map of nations pursuing energy efficiency economies. Mr. Agyarko is being honored today for his steadfast work in advancing energy efficiency and energy conservation, and the positive impacts his work has had on improving air quality. This work supports the efforts around the world of mitigating the climate crisis and addressing environmental justice inequities. The California Air Resources Board is honored to bestow Mr. Agyarko with the 2023 Haagen-Smit Clean Air Award in the category of environmental justice.
The honorable board members of the California Air Resources Board, executives, and members of the board. I feel very honored and proud today to be recognized by CAB for the work that I have been doing for the past 2 decades. Undoubtedly, today will go down as one of my proudest days on earth. So, to the board and everyone who is connected with this award, I doff my hat. For the past 48 hours, I have been showered with congratulatory messages from around the world, from friends and family members. But one of the messages nearly got me weeping. It came from one of my friends, and I quote, "Kofi, your efforts have finally been recognized. Ayiko." Ayiko in my language means well done. And I was touched emotionally because I have been doing this battle for a long time, and I have become the public enemy to some people who think that what I am doing amounts to taking bread out of their table. But today, I'm happy that far away from Africa, in California, Sacramento to be precise, I am being recognized. I thank you very much. I will be very excited to see the kind of binoculars that the CAB uses to be able to identify somebody like me far away, thousands of kilometers away from America. I'll be glad to see that binoculars. It must be a very powerful one. On the other hand, if it is the ruling mouse voice that got to you, then you must have a very sensitive ears, because I've been ruling for long. I don't have the emotional strength to prolong my message this morning. I have two things to say. One is a request, and one is a pledge. Cap, I want to tell you that the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. In this time, where time is almost running out before we hit climate tipping points, a lot of institutions and individuals pretend to protect the earth. They do so by paying lip service. CAB remains one of the finest hopes to either delay or prevent earth catastrophe. That is climate tipping point. So keep soaring. Against all the odds, keep soldiering on, because you are an inspiration to some of us. The second is the pledge. With this honor done me, it marks the beginning of a new phase in my determination to extricate Africa from the shackles of the corporate demons whose business is to dump cooling appliances that have obsolete refrigerants in Africa. The mouse is going to roar the loudest. Thank you very much, and may the Creator of the earth, for who we fight to protect his creation, continue to bless us all. I am humbled. Thank you.
The second Haagen-Smit Clean Air Award recipient today is Dr. Richard Flagen in the category of research. Dr. Flagen will be introduced by board member Dr. Susan Shaheen.
It's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Richard Flagen, who is a globally recognized innovative experimentalist and researcher in aerosol science and instrumentation. Throughout his career, he has made transformative contributions to the field of aerosol science, developing innovative measurement techniques and advancing the understanding of aerosol dynamics and their environmental impacts. One of Dr. Flagen's most remarkable contributions to clean air is the development of novel aerosol measurement instruments and techniques. These have dramatically improved the accuracy and scope of atmospheric studies, such as nanoparticle collection and determination of size distribution for submicron particles. His invention of the scanning mobility particle sizer has been revolutionary because it increased the resolution and sensitivity of aerosol measurements. Since its introduction, the design has been commercialized, and today the scanning mobility particle sizer has become a standard in the field of aerosol research. He also refined his instruments and developed a technique to enable airborne operation. Because of his work, direct measurements of atmospheric aerosols can now be used to validate satellite-based remote sensing measurements. Dr. Flagen's influence extends beyond his groundbreaking research. He has authored over 450 peer-reviewed publications, is highly cited, and holds 28 patents. He even managed to regain the copyright for his foundational textbook, Fundamentals of Air Pollution Engineering, and has made it free to the community, resulting in over 375,000 downloads and significantly expanding its impact. In addition to his research, Dr. Flagen is celebrated for his leadership in the scientific community, guiding numerous early career scientists and fostering the next generation of leaders in aerosol science and environmental engineering. For his pioneering contributions to the field of aerosol science, his leadership in environmental research, and his dedication to mentoring future scientists, CARB is honored to bestow Richard Flanagan with the 2023 Haagen-Smit Clean Air Award in the category of research.
Thank CARB, the committee at CARB that has bestowed this honor. This is a particularly significant one to me. I was fortunate enough early in my career to meet Ari Haagen-Smit, who is one of my heroes. Though I only knew him briefly, he laid the foundation for CARB and for an entire field of study that has become extremely important around the world. I'm humbled by the other recipients today and those in the past whose contributions are truly immense. I would like to thank Caltech, who almost 50 years ago took a chance on a young faculty member who'd never done any work on particles, had never studied anything about the environment, to join the faculty and start working in an area for which he had no formal preparation, but with somehow a vision that I might rise to the occasion. The reason I rose to that occasion was a large cadre of students over now 49 years of research at Caltech. Students at Caltech and colleagues around the world with whom I've worked on trying to understand what is going on into the atmosphere. We've often been stymied by the lack of tools that get the data that is needed. And what I found was my contribution was finding ways to answer the questions the science was raising and put that into practice, and ultimately to make certain that the rest of the world could use those tools as well. I'd especially like to thank a couple of my mentors, one with whom I've worked for the entire time I've been at Caltech, John Seinfeld, who is a previous recipient of this award, and Sheldon Friedlander. But really, it's the students who've done the work. The people who have put up with all this work, of course, have been my wife, Auliki, who has put up with the long days and extensive travel, my children. But most important, the work that is being done to try to clean the air, that's for our grandchildren. I have two, Fia and Mikko, and it's for them that I continue to work in this arena, but it's for the grandchildren of all of you in this room and around the world. That's the people that we're working for. Those are the people that we're trying to protect as we go forward, continuing to look at the atmosphere, understand the science, guide the science towards answering the questions that we thought we had answered. one of the things that the measurements have taught us is every time we make a measurement, we learn something that we didn't know, and we make more questions than answers. So thank you so much for this fantastic honor.
The third 2023 Haagen-Smit Clean Air awardee today is Dr. Prashant Kumar in the category of International Education. Dr. Kumar will be introduced by Board Member Guerra.
It's my honor to introduce Dr. Prashant Kumar, a distinguished international researcher and public educator with more than 370 publications and over 20,000 citations. Dr. Kumar has made substantial contributions in the areas of air quality, climate, and public health. He has a knack for taking his research from the journal to real results in the public sphere. His work has international reach, spanning Brazil, China, Egypt, India, and the United Kingdom. Dr. Kumar's notable work includes developing resources which are used by schools, public transportation, and land use sectors to mitigate exposures to air pollution, increasing urban greening, and improving indoor air quality. Dr. Kumar's exceptional leadership is demonstrated by the establishment of a renowned air quality institution such as the Guildford Living Lab, a global center for clean air research at the University of Surrey in the United Kingdom. The Guildford Lab has more than 150 collaborators across 4 continents and has quickly become an international hub for global clean air efforts. He has also led and continues to lead Reclaim Network Plus. It's a network of 550 individuals from 45 countries, which is a one-stop shop enabling towns and cities to install blue and green infrastructure to help their communities. Dr. Kumar helped influence the World Health Organization to recognize the importance of using face masks and ventilation measures critical to reducing the spread of COVID-19. For his global influential work, transdisciplinary leadership, pragmatic solutions, and impactful approach to public education and engagement, the California Air Resources Board is honored to bestow upon Dr. Kumar the 2023 Haagen-Smit Clean Air Awards in the category of International Education. Dr. Prashant Kumar, please welcome.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great honor and privilege to accept this award. As our previous speaker said, I would like to see that binoculars as well, that how you find the people far away from this country. Growing up in a small village in India, and that's called Sapnawat, with a small kind of farming background, I'm basically the first in my family to go to the university. My upbringing, as you can imagine, has shaped who I am today, for the better and for the worse. It is why I'm passionate about tackling disparities and inequalities. I witnessed my family members coughing and struggling to breathe while cooking with a cow dung, wood and coal. At the time, I did not understand the causes of their suffering from asthma, TB. However, it became apparent that it was air pollution as an invisible killer. While my immediate focus was to support my family, I became determined to choose the path that can make a meaningful contribution to save lives. This is why Cleaner for All is not just a statement for me, it's a mission. The journey has its challenges, and I could not have made it without my parents. My mother, Maisuri Devi, her unwavering support, and my father, Nepal Singh, his dedication to serving the marginalized community, they gave me the confidence to push forward and the unique ability to prioritize public benefit in all my work. And the belief was in me was greater than my own, and I owe who I am to their sacrifices. There is a saying that there is a woman behind every successful man. And that's certainly true in my case. I owe a heartfelt thanks to my wife, Sadhna, who is sitting behind me and has been a steadfast support for nearly 26 years. She's inspired me in my work and my life, and I'm grateful to all my 3 children, Swasti, Sachika, and Sasant, and my sisters, Niti and Poonam, and several of my family members and friends like Kausal and Sunil Mittal, who embraced our journey together. No matter how skilled you are, opportunities and mentorships are very important. My master's supervisor at IIT Delhi, Professor Mukesh Khare, and my PhD advisor at Cambridge, Professor Rex Bitter, they have been instrumental in shaping my research in clean air. Professor Khare always encouraged me by saying that, Prashant, you can do anything. While Professor Rex Bitter constantly challenged me by saying, what's new in Prashant? And their influence instilled in me the self-criticism necessary to strive for meaningful improvements. Without their support, my research journey would not have been possible. While I may be the face of this work, it's truly the result of hard work and contribution over 80 PhD students, postdoctoral researchers, and visiting scholars. I'm grateful for their opportunity to collaborate with so many brilliant minds. And I'd like to mention a few: Rana, Thiago, Sise, Arvind, Abji, Sakao, Sachit, Jeet, Yor, Mateo, Anna, Huevin, Mamta, Anju, Farad, Abdullah, Sanjay, Hala, Paria, Priyanka, D'Souza, Alison Patton, Assis, Gopna, Charlotte, and Hamid, who is basically at CARB, is one of your colleagues, for their outstanding contributions. Collaboration is essential for innovation, and I've been fortunate to work with colleagues worldwide across Asia, Africa, Middle East, Latin America, US, and Australia. I sincerely thank all my collaborators and supporters and those who nominated me for this award. While the list is long, I must highlight a few: Lydia Morawaska, Maria Di Fatima Andrade, CJ Kao, Chris Payne, Paul Funnel, Angus McNabola, Silvana Di Sabatino, Runming Yao, Bolaram Guja, Suresh Jain, Abdul Salam, Adamson Mullah, Philip Osano, Richard Baldo, Jen Golagar, Vera Nagoi, Sevindra Nagendra, Chris Frey, Neville Reyes, Ravindra Kewal, Fong Wang, Claire Murphy, Araya Asraf, Iris Olaya, Kosar Hamajiz, Tashiana Toledo, Kostas Contatinas, Lawrence Jones, Marina Nafitu, and Ahmed Al-Gendi. Early in my academic career, I realized that research must benefit people and the environment. While we produce valuable findings, they remain inaccessible due to technical jargon. This prompted me to ask how I could simplify complex science into actionable message for the community and policymakers, leading to the establishment of the Guilford Living Lab, along with various tools, guidances, and policy briefs. I'm grateful to the local community groups like the Central Primary School, their head teacher, Kate Collins, and colleagues like Ben, Steph, and David from the Zero Carbon Guilford charity, where I serve as a trustee, for collaborating in co-designing locally impactful solutions with global significance. Finally, I'm deeply grateful to the University of Surrey for the support that enabled me to establish the Global Center for Clean Air Research. I thank the entire Institute for Sustainability, our global engagement, and the research funders for providing opportunities to contribute to the meaningful initiatives and foster global collaborations. Last but not the least, thank you, CARB, for this exceptional opportunity and honor. Your support fuels my journey towards achieving clean air for all with renewed enthusiasm and purpose. Thank you very much.
The fourth and final Haagen-Smit Clean Air Award winner today is Miss Vicki Patton in the category of policy. Miss Patton will be introduced by Board Member De La Torre.
It is my great honor today to introduce Miss Vicki Patton, a lifelong leader who has worked tirelessly to help secure landmark federal and state protections that address clean air and climate policies. Ms. Patton is a skilled litigator whose work with partners for over 30 years has secured environmental victories and strengthened the capabilities of the United States EPA, Cal EPA, CARB, and countless nonprofit organizations. She has been a powerful California ally when the state's waivers and authorizations have been under legal and political attack. Early in her career with the US EPA, Ms. Patton was recognized for her outstanding achievement and leadership in forging a landmark agreement with one of the largest coal plants in the western United States at the time. The agreement called for reducing sulfur emissions by 90% from the Navajo generating station to protect the health of the Navajo Nation. During her 25 years with the Environmental Defense Fund, where she currently serves as general counsel, Ms. Patton secured 2 landmark victories. In the case of the Environmental Defense versus Duke Energy Corporation, Ms. Patton convinced the Supreme Court to take the case despite rulings against it. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously in favor of requiring power plants to take steps to prevent a significant deterioration of air pollution. And in the important case of Massachusetts versus EPA, under the leadership of Ms. Patton, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the United States Environmental Protection Agency's authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions under the Federal Clean Air Act. To add to her list of achievements, Ms. Patton is also the co-founder of the Moms Clean Air Force. It is a community of 1.5 million parents that unite against sources of air pollution so all children can breathe clean air. I reached out to a couple of folks who have worked with Ms. Patton over time, so I'm going to read their reactions to her being recognized here today. She is a great strategic thinker. EDF has been leading the NGO world in defending CARB's mobile source regulations for years. And today, we need her more than ever before. That's David Pettit from NRDC, and a fellow attorney who's been fighting those fights with you. Next, Vicki is an exceptionally tenacious advocate who is also collegial and modest. She is one of a handful of public interest attorneys who have made the Clean Air Act the most effective environmental statute ever. Based at EDF's Rocky Mountain office, where she has trained and mobilized a generation of lawyers who keep the skies blue and the air clean against a never-ending array of challenges. That is from our former chair, Mary Nichols. Ms. Patton's impact, innovation, and leadership have left an incredible and lasting positive impact on environmental justice and clean air policy. CARB is honored to award Vicki Patton the 2023 Haagen-Smit Clean Air Award in the category of policy.
I am extremely grateful. Thank you so much for those incredibly generous words and for the recognition, and to be here with these courageous people who've come from, all over the world and lead the way. So thank you all for all that you've done. A through line in the privilege I've had of doing this work for over 30 years is the leadership that comes from California. That is this innovation, this forward-leaning leadership that has really catalyzed progress for millions and millions of people in California, communities and people all across this state and much further reaching. And I just want to touch on one example of the ways in which California catalyzes, inspires. California really pioneered this duality of forward-leaning policy in addressing the harmful pollutants from motor vehicles, paired with investments and incentives. And that kind of duality has helped address one of the single largest sources of harmful pollution that afflicts, millions of people in California and millions worldwide through new technologies, new advancements. And just recently, we took a look at, a colleague of mine, just the progress we're making in the United States due to this kind of duality, the incentives and the forward-leaning policy that really is California's leadership and innovation of many, many examples. And the analysis which we released in August shows that there are over 200,000 jobs being created in just the last handful of years, over $200 billion of investments. And those jobs in electric vehicles, zero-emitting solutions, zero-emitting vehicles, are being created in geopolitically diverse states all across our country. They're being created in California, in Michigan, and Ohio, and Kentucky, and Tennessee, and Nevada, and Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, states all across our country are seeing a manufacturing renaissance, and one that is generational. And you can trace its genesis and its through line to kind of the catalytic vision, the catalytic leadership that California provides. And what's so important about those solutions is you're slashing a suite of harmful pollutants. You're addressing the pollutants that have afflicted communities for far too long. You're providing greater community health, and you're helping to address the climate crisis, all while creating thousands and thousands and thousands of new jobs and new opportunity that we haven't seen really in generations. And so I just want to join my fellow award winner in saying, keep soaring, and thank you to California for your leadership and your innovation. You are a beacon for a better, brighter world. So thank you.